Hello friends, welcome back. This video is in continuation with the last video which we have seen for COVID-19 disease pathogenesis. If you have not seen the video, please go and watch. I have also put the link in the description box. So basic idea of this video is to understand the mechanism of action of the drugs in clinical trials for COVID-19. So let's begin. So as you have seen in the last video that virus enters, it goes and binds to the ACE2 receptor, and from where it gets an entry, its nucleic acid enters in the host cell, and there replication of virus take place, which is later taken up by primary immune cells like macrophages, dendritic cells, activated macrophages, and there is a cytokine storm. The disease progress and the severity increases with reduced lung capacity to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide, and this we defined as ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome. So there could be four strategies to either inhibit the virus or reduce the disease pathogenesis or the disease severity, right? So what are they? First is, if we can block the replication of the virus, or even before, if we can somehow stop this virus to enter into the host cell. Third thing is that if we can reduce this cytokine storm by using some kind of cytokine or cytokine receptor inhibitors, so that there is no cytokine storm, so the virus will enter and replicate, but disease severity will not be that huge as we see in the serious critical cases of COVID-19. Another thing which we can do for reduced severity is that if we can somehow stop this lung fibrosis or overwhelmed immune response. Last we can also do is that we can stop some of these viruses which are entering into the bloodstream and making this disease progression more and more critical. So let's see what are the drugs which actually help in inhibiting viral replication. So these are the drugs, the popular ones which you have already heard about. This is Remdesivir, Favipiravir. Favipiravir is the drug which Indian CSIR is in clinical trial with CIPLA. Also, we have some good data with Remdesivir. These are Lopinavir or Ritonavir. These are anti-HIV drugs. And if you see the set of these drugs, most of them are like anti-HIV or Ebola or another SARS viruses. If you see, again, these drugs are of category which block RNA polymerase, the one which can inhibit protease. If you remember the last lecture, the protease are required to chop down polyproteins and make an assembly of virus. So if this protease is inhibited, those polyproteins which are there, which are translated, but they will not be able to be chopped down, and if they are not chopped down, they are unable to assemble as a virus. So in this way, these category of drugs, like for example this Remdesivir is the one which is a nucleotide analog. So this nucleotide analog enters and this stalls RNA replication of this virus. Another set is which can stop viral entry. So these are aminoquinolones, like the one which is hydroxychloroquine or chloroquines. They are something which are like Umifenovir. So what they can do is they are basically they are basically ACE2 receptor inhibitor. ACE2. Remember, this is the receptor which is used for virus to bind and allow the entry of its RNA. Another aspect of this ACE2 is that if you have heard about that the patients of blood pressure or cardiovascular are cardiovascular these patients have higher number of ACE2 receptors. You got it? And that's why these patients are prone to COVID infection or a severe infection, because if there are more receptors, more virus can enter, more virus can replicate, and that's how the disease severity chances are high. So another way of this is to through blocking it, the ACE2 receptor. These all are mostly ACE2 receptor or something um in the downstream signaling pathway inhibitor. Or we can stop this cytokine storm just by using anti-cytokines antibodies, right? And what they will do is that they will block the cytokines, or we have a cytokine receptor antibody. So cytokine is produced, but the receptor is blocked. So you can see this whole signaling which is taking place between the immune cells, which which will bring a cytokine storm, or the interaction between this can be blocked by Tocilizumab. So you see this map, monoclonal antibody for the receptor. Or this disease severity can be reduced by using some of the steroids which are proven to be very good, like this Prednisolone, or a new one which is recently got approval in UK, that is Dexamethasone. So they don't directly inhibit virus or cytokine storm, but they somehow relax the lungs with these steroids, and this helps to reduce the severity of the disease. Okay. Another way of this is the viral inhibitors like interferon gamma or interferon beta, or a set of these inhibitors which can directly inhibit virus, or they can induce a mechanism to inhibit this virus through a specific pathway. In this, we will also see something called as CAR T cell therapy. We will see it in a separate video, or the stem cell therapy we can use to reduce this uh, disease severity. If you sum this up, like we have discussed already, that there are chloroquines which are basically anti-malarial. What they do is they increase endosomal pH, so they prevent glycosylation of ACE2 receptor. Since this receptor is blocked, virus entry is inhibited, or it could be an RNA polymerase inhibitor like Remdesivir, Favipiravir, Galidesivir, etc. Or it could be a protease inhibitor like Darunavir, Lopinavir, or ritonavir. Or it could be a direct antivirals like you just provide patients with interferon alpha and beta. There are some compounds which direct role we don't know, they are broad spectrum and they can inhibit various pathways. Nitazoxanide, etc., they are also doing well in clinical trials. There could be a host directed therapy like RAAS pathway inhibitors or AC2 receptor inhibitor like these one, or as I said that some of the downstream pathway like JAK-STAT pathway inhibitors, which can be very useful in host directed therapy. Or there could be some of these which are not restricting virus, but what they are helping in is reducing the disease severity, like the steroids which we discussed, or the cytokine inhibitors, etc., which we have seen in last few minutes. I hope you all have liked this video. In the next video we are going to discuss about convalescent plasma therapy. Thank you. Keep watching. Stay tuned. Bye bye.